Isaiah, what's the competition like out there among the kickers?
I think it's a pretty good competition. I think it's good competition though. It's not a hostile environment between us. We all love each other, and we're just trying to make each other better.
How much do you build off of last year, what you were able to do as kind of a freshman that kind of came out of the blue, really?
Building off of last year, it's just kind of finding more of a rhythm. A lot about last year, since I was pretty new and kind of jumped into everything pretty fast. Now I'm able to look back and see what I did wrong, and kind of just perfect my craft, if that makes sense.
Mechanically, anything that you've done from watching what you did last year to what you're going to work on this year, like with your leg swing or your drive or your hips or your plant foot or anything like that?
There's a whole lot of parts about my steps that were inconsistent last semester during the season, and so I just say that I'm just trying to kind of break it down and look at the mechanics of how I can make it more consistent and more reliable, so it'll be the same every time.
How much in the spring do you focus on being more consistent inside the 40, inside the 30, and in that range versus trying to also increase your range, so you're consistent and they can rely on you from 50 beyond?
Yeah. So the way I see it is, by the time season comes, you should have everything perfected. But after season, that's a time for me to break everything down, and I'll get worse before I get better. And so I'd say I've gotten worse before I get better because I'm breaking down kind of what's happening, changing the form and everything. And so range, that'll come back. I'm not worried about that right now. All I'm worried about right now is technique, and by the time season comes, then we can start worrying about those types of things.
Is there a point where you hope to, perfect the technique where you won't have to break it down season by season, or is that just a natural thing that you're going to have to do, whether you go 20 for 20 or you go 10 for 20?
I think at a certain point, it's not as much of you always are going to have to break it down. Not necessarily saying that you're doing everything wrong, though, if that makes sense. So, I don't know. It's kind of right now, I wouldn't say I have everything perfected, and it's I'm still learning as I go on what the right form is, what I should be doing here, follow through, what that should look like. And at a certain point, NFL guys, I'm sure they do the same thing. You're never gonna be completely perfect every time. You can always perfect something,